Morning, guys. So this is our second video, and we figured we would just step in holes, I guess. We figured we would tell you a little bit about us, who we are, where we came from, our kids, while we do a little garden tour. Finally got the garden planted the other day, and it's been going really good. Oh my gosh, look at the peppers. This is insane. Our peppers are really coming up. We got a lot of new growth on these.
Just look at all of it.
There's a lot of new growth. Holy cow. We got one that's kind of, it looks like it's a little stunted.
It looks better today, though.
This one back here looks really stunted, though. Like he's a super small boy. We got something eating on our leaves. We're gonna have to get some neem oil out here on these plants pretty soon. Yeah, these two here don't look too good. These are our tomato plants. This one looks really like, I don't know what's up with it. I know we need to prune the lower limbs and stuff on these tomato plants. But the front two look not so good. These back here though look really, really good. There's a lot of new growth on that one. Kind of blooms all over it. And these are our full-size tomatoes, I think, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think this is a Cherokee purple. We've got our cattle panel trellises up. We've got some cherry tomatoes back here. They're doing real good. The back ones especially. I don't know why the front ones look like they aren't doing quite as good.
Those two are the same kind, though. They're some of our cherry tomatoes.
Yeah, the two front ones are the same type. If I'm not mistaken, they're called Tastiest Tumbler. We've never dealt with them before. We had planted some okra seed that we saved from last year. Don't judge us about the cardboard. We haven't put the wood shavings over here because we weren't sure if the okra was going to come up or not, and it doesn't look like it is. But we've got some of these coming up in a lot of different places. They're going pretty big. I don't think that's okra.
That's not okra.
I'm almost positive that's not okra.
I'm almost positive that's that white locust tree over there.
The white, oh, that's the white locust.
Yeah.
That's something
I'm pretty certain.
Something we gotta take control of then, because we don't want a bunch of white locusts in our garden.
They're beautiful.
Yeah,
they grow fast, but
because look, they're out here too.
They're all over the place.
So they're all the way out here where we did not plant seeds. So I'm not really sure what's up with our okra. Maybe the seeds just weren't viable.
Need to dig up some of this chickweed though and put it in a pot.
Yeah, definitely need to dig up. This here is chickweed.
Yeah.
And we found out that it's
has medicinal purposes.
yeah, has some medicinal qualities to it, so we're gonna dig up some of that and put it in pots. There's Casper. Say hi, Casper. He's out checking out the garden too. This is our zucchini. They're looking real good.
Yeah, they are.
We just got 2-3 days of rain, basically.
Yes.
At least 2 days of rain.
Good rain too.
Yeah, real good rain. Not like hard pounding rain. Just constant. Yeah.
Nice.
Zucchinis are looking real good. And then our squash.
Amazing. This one is huge.
Yeah, it is. Our squash back here looking pretty good.
Oh, baby. Look how much better these look.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Even these look better.
So our cucumbers and our watermelons that we got planted back here. Holy moly, look at that one. The watermelon, man, it has grown so much in the last few days. And then we had some of it. We had 5. We bought 3 pots of watermelon plants, and we separated them out. We lost 3 on this side. 2 of them are still kind of struggling, but
they look better than they did the other day.
yeah, they were they were fully wilted the other day. And then our cucumbers the same way. All these things, the squash, zucchini, cucumber, and watermelon, we bought 3 pots of and separated them out. But these are our cucumbers, and they're Boston picklers. So we've got 4 over here where we had 5. But over here, we thought we'd lost all of these. We thought that they were all going to be not very good, except for this one. This one's looking real good. It's got blooms on it already. But yeah, they're starting to perk back up real good. They're perking back up real good. So that's our garden as it is right now. We wanted to do at least 2 videos a week. One with us doing work and talking to you about the work we're actually doing. And another one just to kind of talk to you and have a chat with you about who we are and where we're going, why the name Chaotic Healthy, the whole 9 yards. So you want to start telling them a little bit about who we are and how we met?
Sure. Well,
it's a romantic story.
Funny story. We actually met on Tinder. I had been single for like 5 years, out of a long relationship, a 16-year-old relationship, and I just had finally decided to get out there. My son was older, and I thought that maybe he was ready to be okay with mom dating. So I started dating and met a couple of losers. Just being honest. But then swipe right on Mr. Patrick here. And it was meant to be from the beginning. We we really hit it off. We had similar situations going on with kids and
relationship, honestly, because I had been married for right at 15 years.
So
things just didn't work out. It was just one of those things where when things are not what they should be in a relationship, and they just weren't, and it was okay. It was amicable. We separated, and we divorced, and then Tinder. I'm a streamer. I've been streaming for about 3 years. I do video games. I know, kind of hard to believe, huh? I do video games. Did it on Mixer before Mixer shut down, then on Twitch. And some of my friends were like, "You should get on Tinder, dude." I'm like, "Nah, not doing that." And then I did it. And after a lot of, again, losers, and I didn't date anybody really until I met Jessie. I couldn't click with anybody, but we instantly clicked. Like, she gave me her number the day that we started talking, and we started texting, and we haven't looked back. And we've been together for a year and a half. And we're getting married too, by the way. I said that was one of the things that we talked about when we first got together was she didn't ever want to be married. She was not looking to get married at all.
Never been married, so.
Never been married. I've been married 3 times. No, excuse me, 2 times. It's about to be my 3rd. I've been married 2 times.
The last one too.
It will definitely be the last one. I said after my last marriage that I would never get married again. I tried it twice. It was not for me, and I was done with it. But love does weird things to you.
Yep.
But we're very much alike on a lot of things. We get along, and a lot of people say you got to marry your opposite. No, that's not true. That is not true.
Your opposite will drive you insane.
Your opposite will absolutely drive you insane. Now we have some differing opinions on things, but very few things do we differ on. And here's the kicker: when we differ, we don't argue about it. We say our piece on it, and that's it. If there's something that we have to really talk about to get through in a relationship, we talk about it. We figure out what's going to be the best course for us and our opinions and the way we feel, and we move on. And if it had been that way with past relationships, we might have never met. So, strife causes you to learn who you are and what you really want. So, and then there's our kids.
Well, Mac, my son, he's 15, and he was diagnosed with ADHD at a young age, preschool actually. As he got older, there started to be some other signs of other mental health things. Excuse me. He has ODD, which is the oppositional defiance disorder. Of course, the ADHD. He's on the spectrum, and he has been diagnosed with bipolar. It's rough some days, but mostly it's good now. There was some
Ram versus Ram action.
Yeah. Little male testosterone situations going
Jostling
on.
for position.
Because, I mean, Mac, even though me and his dad were together for a long time, it was mainly me always taking care of Mac. And in the 5 years that it was just me and him, you know, it was difficult at first, but
It's a kid who's very protective of his mother and wants the best for her, and doesn't want to have to vie for her attention.
Yeah.
It's typical stuff. It's nothing that either one of us when what's going on here.
Yeah,
we
it's
knew
all
what was going on.
completely natural stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, he handles it a little differently than most kids would because of his mental issues. But you know, we deal with it. You know, of course he does therapy, he does take medication, but he's a kid that struggles. He does have some special needs when it comes to education and everything.
And it's hard for him to process emotion. Like
it's very difficult.
His like he recently had some wisdom teeth taken out, and there was some physical altercation because he was scared, but he didn't know how to process that, so he lashed out. And we're parents who we believe in discipline and we believe in structure, and when something breaks that structure, the discipline needs to be set in. And it's never a spank your kid, especially when the kid is my size, actually a little bigger. So it's nothing like that, but it's just a, you know, if you don't cool it, you're going to lose your, you know, all your extracurriculars in the house. There's going to be consequences.
You know, even though he does have these problems, I don't like for him to be able to use that as an excuse. At some point, he's going to have to learn that he has to adjust a little bit so that he is comfortable in situations and other people are comfortable in situations. He can't always use his disabilities as an excuse to allow him to do things, because when he becomes an adult and gets out into the world, that's not going to work.
But he's a good kid.
So, he's a good kid.
He's got a really good heart.
He's a lot of like the emotional stuff, he's very delayed. Because he doesn't know how to handle his emotions.
Well, it takes him a minute to process, and then he sometimes misprocesses, and it's normal for people with his diagnoses and stuff. And when you somebody with a diagnosis of ADHD, that's one thing. When you have compounded diagnoses, and a lot of them have problem with dealing with emotions and stuff, it becomes infinitely harder for him to process his own emotions. So it's difficult.
And it takes a lot of patience.
A lot of patience. And speaking of patience,
yes,
when you've got somebody who can actually, when you can dig to the root of their problem and go, are you scared because you don't want to be put under for surgery? And then they go, yes, and then things calm down. That's one thing. But when you have a child who can't speak, that's something totally different. And Maggie's nonverbal. Maggie was diagnosed with trisomy 9 mosaic syndrome. That's a mouthful. It just means that her number 9 chromosome is tripled in a certain percentage of her cells. And it affects all kids different. Some kids are, for the most part, okay, but there are other kids that they don't move hardly, they don't speak hardly, they're on feeding tubes. Bless their hearts, they go through a lot. Maggie's got some issues. She's got scoliosis. She's got a titanium rod in her spine to correct her 85-degree curve that she had. She's had more surgeries than me and Jessie and Mac all three put together in her life, and she's only 16. She doesn't walk, she doesn't talk, she can't crawl. She relies on us to get her around, to help feed her. And she can feed herself if they're bite-sized things.
Finger food.
Yeah, finger food. She likes to put 3 or 4 in her mouth at one time, though. So
Gotta watch.
Gotta watch that.
She's sneaky.
She's very sneaky. And a lot of times she processes her frustration by pinching and biting. I can show you my arms, and my arms are just covered with scars and pinch marks and stuff like that. And as a father, you know, I deal with it because I know she's frustrated. It doesn't make it any easier on me when she's pinched all day long, and it becomes tough. So there's where that patience, you have to have patience with kids in general, but you really have to have patience with kids who can't communicate what's going on.
Tell you what's wrong.
I can't say I'm in pain or I'm hungry or change my diaper, or there's so much. And bless her heart, Jessie has just taken up the reins of being a saint of a stepmother. And Maggie loves her to death. Like, sometimes she'd rather sit with Jessie than sit with me.
She loves Jessie.
She does love her some Jessie. So our kids, and don't take this wrong, we're not saying that our life is chaotic strictly because of them, but their special needs make our life very chaotic, and not necessarily in a bad way. Sometimes that chaos is a good thing.
It's a hoot here sometimes.
It's definitely when Maggie gets to giggling about Mac doing something completely ridiculous,
and he is always performing for her.
He's always doing something ridiculous. So
and her laugh is just so joyous. I mean,
yeah.
And he loves to make her laugh. So that's his prime goal now.
His prime goal is to make her laugh. Her prime goal is to keep him doing things that make her laugh. Mm-hmm. Even after we've said, all right, that's enough.
Yeah, that's enough. Let's calm down.
It once was fine. Twice was okay. The third time it started getting a little grating, and now it's just, you need to stop. And Maggie's just like laughing. But Maggie's laughing. It doesn't matter. She doesn't rule the house. Please stop.
She thinks she does.
She thinks she does. Of course, he thinks he does too. So, there's that.
Those two are a pair.
They really are. They're a pair to be the full house. Telling you.
I was which I really had no worries whatsoever with how Mac would take to Maggie, because Mac loves kids, and he adores her.
Yeah, and she adores. She's never met anybody that she doesn't like. But when you start giving her extra attention, and you're a boy with dark hair, because both her brothers are boys, of course. Let's say both her brothers have dark hair, but only one of them has dark hair. The other one's blonde. Anyway, she just loves people in general, but especially boys who pay her attention. She's a 16-year-old girl, and don't get me started. So there's our chaos. Now, as for the healthy part of our name, well, I don't know if you've noticed this, but we're not small people.
It's something we're working on.
But it is something that we're trying to work on. We're trying to get fully into ketosis. The keto diet, if you're not familiar with it, look it up. You'll find more information than I can give you in this video.
And I've had success with it before. I mean, you can't really tell right now, but before he and I met, I had weighed 315 pounds. It's hard for me to say out loud. And I started the keto diet. Now, I've always been overweight. I've always struggled with weight. I've been on numerous diets in my lifetime, but someone told me about the keto diet, and I was like, I'm gonna give it a try. And it is the only diet I have ever had success with. I lost, in a year, I lost 85 pounds. I wasn't starving all the time. I was eating good, healthy foods. You can do keto diet the wrong way, and you can do it the right way. What has happened now was the pandemic. And stress. But we are working on getting back into ketosis and doing that, because I was very successful with it, and I know that I can be successful with it again. So, and I've done
what I call a modified keto. I just cut out grains and processed sugars and stuff. Now I still ate fruits, all fruits and stuff, but it was basically, I feel like it was a whole foods diet. It's probably the better term for it. But I lost up to 25 pounds at one point. So neither one of us are above the weight that we feel like we can't do this. And we're gonna try, because March of 2023 is our wedding, and it's well within our reach to be at our goal weight by then. So especially with eating whole foods right out of the garden. So that's our healthy part. We're trying to just bring our whole family and our whole lifestyle back into some kind of containment after the pandemic. So
yeah,
we did grow a garden last year. It was a pretty good garden.
We did great with peppers. Oh my gosh! So many, and the cucumbers were good up until they got a little too wild and crazy.
Yeah, I think we had vine borers, and also we weren't pruning.
Yeah,
we didn't know. I just recently learned from a couple of homesteading YouTube channels that if you prune to the main stem on cucumbers and start taking off what they call suckers, which I didn't know that they were called suckers on cucumbers. I knew it about tomatoes. But if you prune those off, you'll get better production. So we're going to try that this year. We're also canning, dehydrating, vacuum sealing. We're really trying to build towards a homestead.
Yes.
Now this is where we live right now. This is our backyard. We had some comments about the truck in the last video. The truck is not ours. It will be gone hopefully within the next couple of months. But that back fence line when I first got here was just so overgrown.
Yeah.
They called it the jungle.
Yeah. The dogs loved it.
But we have cleared that off. We're going to make the whole back area from about where that basketball goal is to the back fence. We're going to make that the dog area. They'll still have free run of the yard through the day, but when we have to come out here and do something, they'll be in their pinned up area back there, so that we'll have free run to do what we need to do back here. So we're renting this place. We're hoping that by the time Mac is out of high school, we'll be able to buy some land back in my hometown. We're in Georgia, so we're 7B still here, but we're definitely 7B in my hometown. So we're looking to make a change, get more land on property that we own, and be able to do even more there. Now that's not to say that we can't start homesteading where we are. I was doing homesteading stuff in an apartment at one point in time. You don't have to have a piece of land to do what's called homesteading. You just have to have it in your heart and know what you want from life and work towards it. So that's what we're doing.
I'll be honest with you, homesteading is very new to me. I am not your typical work outdoors sort of girl. I like to be in my craft room in the air conditioning. I've lived in Georgia my entire life, so I mean, we've dealt with the heat. But this is something I never thought that I would enjoy, and there's still parts that I'm not.
She's still learning
crazy about.
She's still learning to understand.
I don't really like to get dirty, so. But it's very satisfying. And like I said, I'm still learning and still adjusting to it, but it's very satisfying when you have done all this work and you start producing the vegetables and stuff and pick it, and then using it for dinners or whatever. It's just, there's something amazing about that.
Something very satisfying about it.
It's very satisfying. So I'm excited. I have dreams about what our future homestead will be, and so does he. And
that's stuff that we'll talk to you more about as the videos progress.
We got plans, big plans.
Oh, we got big plans.
It will take time, but we got big plans.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to start it here and, really start adjusting to it and learning now, so that when we do buy land of our own, we will be ready to dive right in and get it going and have something bountiful and beautiful and
what we want. Thanks for joining us, guys. For those of you who are new to the channel, if you're new to homesteading as well, make sure you follow us, because we're learning a lot of the stuff. I already knew some of the stuff, but we're learning a lot of the stuff together now, and we'd like for you to learn with us. And for those of you who are seasoned veterans, please leave us a comment and let us know what we're doing wrong, because I would really hate, and if you got a reference to, look, if you're a homesteader and you have your own channel and you see us doing something wrong and you have a video about that, feel free to leave a link in the comments. I do not mind that a bit. I know some people say don't self-promote. Well, self-promote. If you got something, if you got good information on what we're doing wrong, please, for the love of God, put it in the comments so that we can go back and watch that and learn the right way, because we want to do it the right way. Anyway, thanks for joining us, guys. We appreciate you. We love you guys. And remember, through your chaos, to stay healthy.